remember when Sniffy Joe Biden cast the final vote to tax Social Security up to 85% of your benefits? You remember that? I bet you don't, because that's 30 years ago. The media doesn't want to remind us with the Clinton crime bill, which put all these black people in jail. Now, let's pretend that didn't happen. The Joe Biden not only voting to tax your benefits up to 85%, but also voted to tax your benefits at 50% as well in 1983, which Reagan signed. Remember that? Nah, you don't. But we're going to bash the Republicans, the few Republicans that are still out there saying we got to raise benefit or raise the retirement age. It's so freaky. I mean, Rick Scott never voted to tax Social Security benefits. Never. Mitch McConnell never voted to tax Social Security benefits. Never. You know who did? Sniffy Joe. Not once, but twice. That's just a fact of Jack. So before you start bashing the Republicans, as I do here a lot, why don't you look in the mirror there, media? Anyway, so here's some factcheck.org. Post misleads on Biden's role in Social Security tax. And it says fact check. They're legit. They're going to look both sides, and they're going to look at it. And we got here actor in wellspring of dubious claims, James Woods garnered more than 45,000 retweets by making a claim. Prior to 1983, Social Security was not taxable. Joe Biden voted successfully in favoring of taxing 50% of Social Security. In 1993, he was the deciding vote in raising taxes on Social Security from 50 to 85%. Yep. Now he wants to tax our 401ks and IRAs. I'm not going to talk about that, but I do want to talk about here. So let's go down here. In 1993, Joe Biden was the deciding vote on raising taxes on Social Security, as James Wood says. In this case, the change was part of a major tax bill that President Clinton had laid out in his State of the Union address in 1993. Among his provisions were an increase in the amount of Social Security benefits that could be taxed. And I love how they say for some recipients. No, for all recipients, too. I mean, if you don't know how provisional income works. The way this claim is phrased, though, it sounds like the benefits are subject to an 85% tax rate. Well, welcome to the world there, factcheck.org. Jeez. Oh, my goodness. It says raising taxes on Social Security from 50 to 85%. That's a fact. That is a fact. You now have to pay taxes on 85% of your Social Security benefits. That is a fact. It's not worded incorrectly. It's worded factually. So factcheck.org, go pound sand. All right, let's see. Right here. The change in the Social Security program was structured similar to the 1983 change. It added another bracket to the income thresholds and increased the portion of benefits eligible to be taxed. Yep. The tax bill, which included some of the most several other controversial changes, was highly partisan. Not a single Republican voted for it. You hear that? Not a single Republican. Biden voted for the bill along with the majority of his Democratic colleagues in the Senate. He wasn't the deciding vote, though. The Senate vote was tied 50-50, and so freaking crazy Al Gore had to cast a deciding vote. Remember, Al Gore said, the Social Security lockbox. It's crazy, man, how freaking just devious these guys are. Projections, that's all these guys do. They're the biggest racist clowns out there, and they project it on their political opponents as if we are. And they, the biggest tax raisers there is, and they project it on their political opponents as crazy. But anyway, Joe Biden did cast a deciding vote. You know why? Because if he didn't cast that vote, we would never have needed freaking crazy Al Gore, man bear pig, to cast a deciding vote. Joe Biden's vote allowed it to be passed, which meant he voted the deciding vote to tax Social Security benefits at 85%. That's just a fact of Jack. Now, you might not like that truth there, factcheck.org, but it's a fact. In fact, it's interesting, too. This crazy chick who actually did on the House cast a deciding vote in favor of Clinton's tax hikes. That's just a fact. And ironically, you know who her son is married to? Marjorie Margolis Bavinsky or whatever, whose husband was a clown. The whole thing is just corrupt as all. You know who her son is married to? You'll never guess. Put in the show notes if you know who Marjorie Margolis, whatever her name is, Bavinsky's son is married to. You'll never guess. It's funny, actually. Anyway, so now she's an adjunct faculty member at the University of Pennsylvania and a women's rights activist. And she's a fellow at the University of Pennsylvania Fellows Institute of Government. Dude, the whole thing is so corrupt, dude. It's not Republicans are not as corrupt, but they're just, you're not going to find salvation in politics. It's so freaking corrupt, dude. That's all there is to it. Joe Biden raised, so they'll say, yeah, but Reagan signed the initial tax bill. He did, 100%. But even that was somewhat logical. I mean, you're basically paying taxes on the money you had yet to pay tax on for the initial Social Security in 1983. What happened was you put in 50, your employer puts in 50. All right. So basically, your employer puts in 50, you don't pay any income tax on it. You receive a benefit of it, and that's going to be taxable to you. It's kind of like if you think about like a non-deductible IRA contribution or an annuity, for anything like that. Your principal comes back at you tax-free. The gains or your pre-tax distributions come out to you taxable. The same thing with social. The initial logic of Social Security taxation to make it 50% taxable makes sense, frankly. Now, where they scumbags, where they didn't index that with inflation, neither did they in 1993. Freaking clowns! That ticks me off. Evil, evil crap. But the logic of the initial one made sense. You got a $50 benefit that wasn't taxed, you're gonna have to pay some tax on that. You got $50 that you already put your tax in, we're not gonna tax on that. Now you are getting double taxed on Social Security. That's just a fact, unless you know what you're doing. That's why you're here on this channel. All right, love to hear your thoughts. Sniffy Joe's a clown. They're all clowns, dude. But remember, Mitch McConnell didn't vote for that. He might have been in the Congress in terms of the House of Representatives at that point. I don't know. Rick Scott was nowhere to be found. But not one Republican voted for those tax increases. Just keep that in mind. All right, we'll see you.